Good morning, everyone. Another beautiful day for us. It is. Is everyone hearing me fine through this? Yes? Oh, okay, good, good. That's always good. We can, a little message there. We can always get better. I am so grateful to be here with all of you this morning. All of you beautiful souls, soaring spirits, my spiritual siblings. So happy, so grateful, so thankful. It's our special time together with each other and with Spirit, our Creator. So let's relax and allow ourselves to be filled with the light and love of God. I invite you to close your eyes, relax, and allow as we sit in the stillness, knowing that the presence of God is right here, right now, within each and every one of us. And I say, dear God, thank you that I am yours and you are mine. We might repeat that mantra silently throughout our stillness together in this Holy Communion. Let us begin. I am yours. You are mine. I am yours. You are mine. Yes, I am yours. Yes, you are mine. I am yours. You are mine. As we close this time of meditation together, I give thanks. I am so grateful for this time that we have had, sharing our love of spirit and knowing the truth of I am yours, you are mine. Let us go forth now knowing that not only have we contributed to the rising of our own consciousness, but the collective consciousness of the world. Every time we meditate, we bring it about. It is happening now. We let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, Catherine. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, St. Augustine. I'm very excited to be here today. We really got a special program for you today because we've got a baby christening, and we've got the cutest baby in all the world. Look at that. Oh, adorable. What do they say in showbiz? Never work with babies or pets, you know. They steal the show every time. Well, just a couple of announcements before we get going. We've got a raffle sale going on, and so you want to see Brenda. Brenda, raise your hands. Lovely Brenda over there. And Betsy, too. Lovely Betsy as well. And so we will be selling tickets a little bit after the service and then make an announcement, and we will award the prizes after the service. I still am looking for somebody who's willing to host the Thanksgiving dinner. Before COVID, we had a Thanksgiving open house here. People really liked it a lot, and it's just a kind of coordinating that. If that's something that you'd be interested in, please see me or Mike Lawley. We could use your help. As many of you know, our wonderful friend and practitioner, Richard Austin, is in the hospital. He's gotten a rather serious diagnosis, so we're sending him lots of love and care. We have cards outside. I really encourage people to send cards because, you know, he can't talk to all of us. Flowers are difficult, and if you do something text or email, it kind of goes away in a couple of seconds. A card is visual, and especially if you write something in it. So, you know, don't tell me you don't know what to write because I've already provided you suggestions on what to write outside to put it in a card. So send him a card and just let him know how much you love him and you care for him and that you wish him really well. Let me get to my clicker. And so this morning we're going to do something that is absolutely, well, before that, let me back up. You know, all life asks and all it requires is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I. It's the purpose of this teaching to keep us reminded of this essential truth in our lives and to help this truth show up in our lives in a greater, more loving and dynamic and powerful way. I always ask you to do one simple thing each Sunday morning, and that is to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, to leave all that stuff outside, and for the next 45 minutes or so to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities in your life. And what are spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, more joy, more happiness, more friendship, more laughter, more dance, all those things in life that make us feel alive. Because that's what God is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. All right, so I think to get the service going, why don't we have some great music? Catherine, you got something wonderful to play for us?
Sure.
All right.
Doing the baby christening first.
We'll get to that.
What's the baby's name again? Amelia. Okay, I'm going to do this for Amelia. For when she grows up, which will happen overnight probably, right? This is called Rockin' Pajamas. Well, Amelia has pajamas new from the store. Mom and Daddy bought them at finance. They like the flannel fabric, but they like the pattern even more. A pretty picture of a groovy scene. Well, there's a tiny amplifier and a plug-in guitar. And pink and purple people with pink hair and a great big blue bow. Little girl playing like a rock and roll star, jumping and flying through the air. You gotta help me out here. So gimme rockin' pajamas. Just like I can be, but that Amelia would like to share with you. Just remember that your dreams can be real. She's all grown up now, and her dreams are coming true. And she's signing a great big record deal. Oh yeah. So Mariah Cause I got the bebop and Jimmy jumping cute. She's going to the Grammys, decked out in her jammies.
Thank you, Catherine. So we do christenings in a little different way because we don't do christenings to wash away any sin or mistake. We believe this child is a perfect idea from the mind of God. And we are here to witness that. So we are here to witness the Christ consciousness within her. We use the water, and I'll ask her parents to come up in a bit and dip their finger in the water and put it on her forehead, not to wash any mistakes of hers away, but to acknowledge that we will never allow any of our negativity to influence her life. That's what we are doing. When we dip the finger in the water and place it on her forehead, we will say to her, we see you as a perfect child of God. And we will never allow our fears, our worries, our doubts, our limitations to impair you blooming and blossoming in God's love. That's how we do it. So, yeah. So, dear little one, dear Spirit, bless this child given us. Keep her safe and secure and free. Help us guide her as she grows. Light the pathway wherever she goes. A child to enjoy as a gift from above, to be christened with water and brought up with love. Julianne and David, would you like to come up? Dear, beautiful Amelia, may angels guide your tiny feet and bring you smiles to wear. May our heavenly parent always keep you in his care. Precious one, so small, so sweet, dancing in on angels' feet, straight from heaven's brightest star. What a miracle you are. One tiny hand to guide and hold, one tiny life to shape and mold. Each child a gift from God, a symbol of its strength and love. God created everything, butterflies and birds that sing, the sun and stars and skies of blue, but best of all, God created you. So as we touch the water and put it to her forehead, just say for yourself, I promise always to look and encourage the best in your heart and soul. I promise to never allow my negativity to shadow Spirit's love and light for you. Bless you and always keep you in God's heart of love and joy. And dear beloved one, and so it is. Ginger, would you like to come up? We have Chris here with us. Okay. Bless you, dear one. You are a blessing to us, and we're so grateful you're here today. Many blessings. So after service today, If you would like to come up, this would be a really nice exercise for you to come up and dip your finger in the water and place it on your forehead and say, now I'm washing away all the negativity that I've collected for this lifetime, and I'm just letting it dissolve away. It'll be a really wonderful thing, exercise for you. Well, isn't that wonderful? So to get us started, we're going to have our Maureen come up and do a reading and treatment for us. Come on up, Maureen.
Good morning, everyone. I am so grateful to be here with all of you. The reading actually isn't a reading. I took it from the Science of Mind magazine, and it is actually today's daily guide by Reverend Christy Hardwick. And those of you who get the magazine or read it, all month she's been doing the daily guides, and she is a lover of songs. And instead of using a quote, she uses a quote as a song lyric. And the title for today is, let me see what it was, Find Your Laughter. And I already did this morning with Jim's little note for us. Didn't you get a few chuckles out of that, those of you who have read it? I loved it. Anyway, so she would use this, as the lyrics, and what she chose was, let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be, which was from The Greatest Love, Whitney Houston. And I thought, I haven't heard that song in a long time, so I didn't even read any further. I just went and played it a couple of times. And it really inspired me a lot. And so I also thought, who wrote that song? Because I couldn't remember. So looked that up. And it was, The Greatest Love of All was composed and written by Michael Masser and Linda Creed and recorded by George Benson in 1977 for the biopic film of Muhammad Ali, The Greatest. Whitney Houston recorded in 1984, and both were hits, both were top hits. When I think of laughter, the saying, laughter is the best medicine, Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22, King James Bible version. Who knew that? I didn't know. I found it on MrFeelgood.com. Laughter is an instant vacation, Milton Berle. I love that. And of course, babies. I love babies. Who doesn't love hearing a baby laugh? Medically and spiritually, laughter heals. We know this. There's been all kinds of research and proof, and we just know. So anyhow, back to the song. So I played it again a couple of times, and I thought, and I remembered why I loved it so much. And I had been experiencing some very deep emotional feelings about several people who have had some serious diagnoses, both family and friends and others. So after I played it a few times, I was really happy to know that these lyrics spoke to me with comfort and faith. And some of them are, the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. Find your strength in love. So I invite you now, as we turn within and find that greatest love of all that is always within, always present, always here, always giving, everywhere, all the time. I am so grateful and thankful for this love, knowing that it carries us through everything and anything. And I bless this service knowing that the greatest love of all is right here, right now, alive in each one of us, alive in Reverend Ken's message, alive in the music, alive in each heart here. The greatest love of all. I give thanks for this, knowing it is the truth, that it is so. I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
Thank you, Maureen.
I love what you said about laughter. I had a feeling, and I grabbed this one as I left the house today. I thought, I need to take the smiley face. So, this song is called If Everybody Had a Ukulele, This World Would Be a Better Place. So, right? It's just your side. We have to get pictures of her with this. So please sing along. It's pretty easy. Here we go. If everybody had a ukulele, they'd have a smile on their face. If everybody had a ukulele, this world would be a better place. Put down that cell phone, pick up that trombone, start a marching band. Sounds like a good plan. Turn off that TV, it's making me dizzy. Pick up that ukulele, let's play a melody. 1, 2, 3, help me out. If everybody had a ukulele, they'd have a smile on their face. If everybody had a ukulele, this world would be a better place. Put down that briefcase, sidestep that rat race. You've paid your dues, now follow your muse. Deep down inside you, let your heart guide you. Pick up that ukulele, let's play a melody. 1, 2, 3, everybody. If everybody had a ukulele, they'd have a smile on their face. If everybody had a ukulele, this world would be a better place. A little bit louder this time. If everybody had a ukulele, they'd have a smile on their face. If everybody had a ukulele, this world would be a better place. Oh yeah, this world would be a better place.
Thank you, Catherine. So my talk title is On Angel's Wings, and I actually drew the inspiration from the poem that I read for Amelia, which said, she danced to earth on angel's feet. I love that, dance to earth on angel's feet. Now, actually, my teacher in this, our tradition, Kennedy Schultz, he did not like the concept of angels. He was very, very focused on the idea of there's only one God, one mind, one power. And anything, angels or spirit guides or anything that took you away from that concept of that one power within you was a distraction. And you didn't need to focus, but you just focused on the one power. He was so adamant in this that he bragged about how one time when there was a panel for people to approve student ministers, that a young woman wore an angel pin in her lapel pin, and he didn't pass her. He didn't pass her because of that. he had gotten a bit full of himself. It's a career hazard for ministers, I'll tell you that. And honestly, by the end of his life, he had come back and he said, no, I got that wrong. He said, the thing I needed to focus on was love. That's what I should have focused on. Now, intellectually, I get what he was saying about the angel stuff, but I think we need to attach to something. So I don't have a problem if you need to call out for an angel or Jesus or Buddha or Baha'u'llah, whatever you need to call out to in times of challenge. Call out to it. I shared with you our little Sadie, our little puppy. She made her transition. And the toughest part of it was waiting on the vet to come to the house. That was a hard part. And there was at one point I found myself in front of the refrigerator eating, even though I wasn't hungry. And I was eating something that I have absolutely no clue how it got into our house. I have no clue how this product ended up in our house. It was a Fat Boy ice cream sandwich. I refuse to pay for a food product that insults me and puts weight on me. I'm not going to do it. But I was in front of the refrigerator just shoving this ice cream sandwich in, and I noticed at my feet she was staring up at me. Now, she had gone a day or two without eating, and she had gotten to the point where if she thought there was any medicine in her food at all, she was not going to have it. And she could smell medicine from a mile away. So I'm looking down at her, and pretty much I had gotten that anything that I thought she might eat, I would give her. And we went through Publix chicken tenders, Publix meatloaf, frozen fish sticks, for anything I thought she'd eat, I was giving her. So I thought to myself, well, maybe she'll eat some ice cream. And so I gave her a little bite, and she gobbled it up. And then I looked up, and I noticed, because one of the things she had was her trachea. That's right, Amelia. Her trachea was collapsing, and they basically gave her doggy Xanax for this. And she really hadn't needed them, but I thought, well, gosh, if I could get a Xanax in her, wouldn't that make this process easier and more comfortable? And I got the pill out, I put it in the ice cream, and before I reached down, I said out loud, "Dear Jesus, let my little baby take this Xanax." And she gobbled it up. She gobbled it up. Now, am I going to be calling out to Jesus? Well, I don't know, maybe another crisis comes along, I'll call out. And it's okay. It's okay. You know, they said even Kennedy at the end, he was using a rosary again. He had been raised Catholic. And I think in time of challenge that we often go back to stuff from our childhood that has been comforting to us. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm much more like the Tibetan Buddhist priests are. And if you're in that tradition, when you have died or dying, the family calls the priest to the house. The priest comes and he starts reading from the book, the Tibetan Book of the Dead and Living. And if you've already died, the first thing he says to you is, "Dear beloved one, you're dead now. You're dead, and here are some things that you can help you along the way." And he will start guiding you on this path for 40 days. And one of the first things he will tell you, will say, is whatever thing you have attached to in this life that feels good and loving to you, whatever thing you've attached to, you hold on to that as tight as you can. And so for them, they're okay if it's the Buddha. If it's the Buddha, go with the Buddha. If it's Jesus, go with Jesus. For me, it's going to be Colonel Sanders. That's what I will attach to. But whatever that will give you a feeling of good, of love, of comfort, of peace, you attach to that. And you don't have to answer to anyone. Now, our dear Amelia today, she's a special reminder of that God is always wanting to bless us, is always wanting to bring love and joy into our life. And that she has all the potential of the universe to bring about as much love and as much joy as she can envision. And so we want to see that for her, but we also want to see it for ourselves. We want to know ourselves, because Spirit still sees us the same way we see her. It does. Spirit is in awe of our abilities to bring love and joy to life, to make a difference. We are here to make a difference, and we can. And sometimes all it takes is a kind word, a smile. After all, it was the birth of a child, we're told in Scripture, on a dark and desolate night that reawoke life out of a night of despair. Every child is God's attempt at a perfect soul. We are all this gift of divine, and within our hearts and souls is a spark of the divine, which we never can diminish. We can lower it by our fears, our doubts, and all our guilts and shames, but we can never put it out. And if we want to, we can increase it. Christ says in the Gospels, we can illuminate the world. That's what we're here to do. We're here to illuminate the world. With every little baby's birth, God sends love and joy to earth. And we're here to be that love and joy. And through love and joy, we can channel God's energy. Now, it seems an odd thing that in our Western tradition, we took a lot of the joy out of spirituality. And we felt that the only way to get through to spirit is through pain and suffering and need and that kind of, but no. And most religious traditions, they have a path of channeling God's love through joy and particularly dance. I was watching the Sufis whirling dervishes this week. And, they think that through dance, they can connect to spirit. And we see this in a lot of traditions. Silver Fawn was telling us about native traditions in North America. They have the sun dance, and where they connect to spirit. And Hasidic Jews will dance joyfully. So this thing runs through many, many traditions. And so we want to remind ourselves, as Maureen said, through our laughter, through our joy, through our love, we can be channels of God's goodness right where we are, right as you are. And you don't have to become all saintly to do it. And you don't need anybody's approval. That God has called you to be the best, the biggest, brightest, shining light of its possibilities. And by doing so, we can change the world. I did a video last week. I hope some of you got to see it. It was about a guy from my hometown of Macon, Georgia, Little Richard. Little Richard, the creator of rock and roll. Yeah. Little Richard was on Johnny Carson one night, and Johnny asked him, he said, Richard, is that your own hair? And Little Richard looked at him and says, well, I guess it is. I paid for it. Little Richard had to leave his home at 14 years old. There's a great documentary on PBS about him, American Masters, if you want to look at it. 14, he had to leave home because his dad caught him wearing makeup, and he beat him till he was unconscious. He beat him till he was unconscious. Now, he did not give up, and he changed the world through rock and roll. He was the inventor of it. He was what the Beatles, the Rolling Stones used as inspiration. We have this gift within us that if we will have faith in it, if we will bring it out, it can heal the world. So I put that video out, and it was amazing the negative response I got from it. All these people telling me to read my Bible. I didn't tell them I don't have a Bible right now. I was scared they would send me one, and I was just in awe. Why is it hard to believe that there is something good within us? Why do we humans have a tough time believing that? We easily accept there's something negative within us. Oh, that's no problem at all. Kennedy said, we will give up early on in our childhoods the idea of a loving and accepting and giving God. We will give up on that idea. He says, but you'll hang on like the devil to an angry and punishing one. I think there's some truth to that. We need to examine it and know something better. Just because you had an idea from childhood, you don't have to hold on to it. Hold on to something better. The Spirit sees you just like we see lovely little Amelia here. That's how Spirit sees you, full of potential and possibilities, doing the best you can. She just spit up on her daddy's arm, but you think anybody blames her for it? No. She's doing the best she can. And so are you. So are you. She doesn't know about me. Now, Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he says the divine is always present. The divine is always present, and it appears whenever recognized. That which we give attention to grows and thrives. And he says the more we move into this conscious union with life, we will realize that Spirit holds as much good for us as we can take and as much as we can give. It's a give so you can receive. And that includes in your love, your joy, your finances. Give. So, I've been going up several times this week to see our dear Richard in the hospital. And so when I go up, I always do prayers for him. But very soon, he kind of reminded me, let me do a prayer for you as well. Because it's that secular, not just giving out, but receiving. This is where we have get into our power. So I was on the road this week, probably more than I've been in the last 6 months. And of course, the big, huge storms that are going through and plowing through them. I was always in the slow lane on the interstate, going 95 miles an hour. You get on the interstate and you say to yourself, now, I'm not going to get in that rack race. I'm just going to take my time. I'm not going to let anybody. Next thing you know, you're going 90 miles an hour. You got a grip on the steering wheel, So, I've been going up to Jacksonville. I got in the car to head up Friday. My car let me know that one of my tires was seriously under pressure, that it had some kind of leak, and that I needed to get it to the tire store. I got it to the tire store, which is right off the interstate, and they're fairly new tires. And so I go in and talk to the guys, and the guys are working as hard as they can. They're slammed. You can tell that there's way more business than their employees to handle. And these young guys and gals, there was a gal working there, they're working so hard lifting these big heavy tires. And when they would get done with one car, they would run to go get the next one to pull in. So I talked to the customer service guy. He says, I'm sorry, but it's going to be hours before we can get to it. Hours. Well, there wasn't really any other choice. So I got myself prepared. I got everything set up. I got into a nice little corner. I started writing my talk. My prayer partner was amazed that I could write a talk in a tire store. It was no problem. But while I'm in there, the next person that comes in is what I would call an angry retired person. An angry retired person. And boy, this place gave him a lot to be angry for. And he was just unloading on these guys with all his anger. And I thought to myself, well, why is he so angry? He's retired. And I suddenly dawned on me. He worked all those years thinking the retirement would bring him joy, not knowing that he had to bring the joy to retirement. Retirement's just a change of schedules. That's all retirement is. You've got to bring the happiness to retirement. So, of course, what did he want to do? He wanted to sit down to share his anger with me. And I didn't argue with him or anything. No need to do that. I just said, well, gosh, they're working as hard as they can. So I'm grateful that I'm here and not with a flat tire on 95 with semi-trailer zooming past me at 100 miles an hour. So that was what I was grateful for. He pretty much ignored me after that, So I've come up with a dictum. I'm not even sure what a dictum is, but it sounds right. It sounds right. It is. If you want to feel better, go out and do as much good as you can. This is one way you're going to feel better about your life. And so for me, in that instance, it wasn't trying to talk him out of being angry, because it's taken years for him to work into that situation. He's going to be stuck there for a while, maybe or maybe not. But for me, it was just being friendly to the guys working. Saying, you're doing the best you can. It's okay. I'm all right. Don't worry about me. We're here to be in love and in joy. We're here to allow happiness to ring out from us. And we can't do it through guilt and shame. It only gives you more guilt and shame. We cannot draw love into our consciousness through hate. We cannot draw peace through confusion. We can't see beauty through ugliness. We can't hear harmony while our ears are filled with discord. And there's a lot of discord going on right now. So we have to be at a point where we know that we are divine right where we are. And that we look for that is divine, that is wonderful, it is joyful. And to acknowledge it, look for it, acknowledge it, and then if you can give some gratitude for it, if you can give a little bit of encouragement to it, it will go a long, long way. Just a little bit of good. One light can shine and can make a difference. I got to the hospital on Friday as I was getting into the elevator. I needed to go up to the 8th floor. Now, normally the elevators are packed with people. But I was in this elevator by myself, and all of a sudden, as the doors were closing, there was a young woman running in, and I stuck my hand in so she could get in. She comes in, and she's got her doctor's coat on. She looked to be about 16 years old. But she has this doctor's coat on. She has dreadlocks, and she has those big square glasses they used to wear in the 70s. All she needed were the little initials. Do you remember when ladies would do that, put the little initials in the corner of them? She would be a dead ringer for my homeroom teacher in the 8th grade. So she gets on the elevator, she's chugging water, and as she's chugging water, she looks up at me, she says, they run me from patient to patient. She says, I'm an intern here. She said, they run me from patient to patient, and she says, unless I hydrate, she said, I can become pretty dehydrated. She says, so that's what I do. And as she was sharing that with me, all of a sudden, I could just sense all the pride her family and friends have in her. Here's this young woman. She's interning to be a surgeon. And she had this really happy disposition. And I told her, I said, I know your patients love you. And I know you bring a lot of comfort to your patients. And when I did, she just beamed. She just beamed. And she bounced off that elevator. That's all we have to do is to look for God's goodness, recognize it, and give a bit of encouragement. It's not hard. We are here to know that God is right where we are. God is what we are. To believe in ourselves as Spirit believes in us, to see ourselves as Spirit sees us, not as weak, not as wounded, not as defeated, but a victor. Here to do bold and courageous work to make the world a better place for your having been here. And you can do it. God created everything, butterflies and birds that sing, the stars and skies above a blue. But best of all, God created you. And what God has created is good. It has never given up on you for a moment. It has never seen any of your mistakes. It has been awed by your possibilities, your possibility to love, your possibilities to bring joy and happiness. You are Spirit's greatest blessing to this world. So this week, make a promise to yourself that you're going to step out in love. You're going to step out in compassion, step out in joy, that you will lift your eyes to the breaking dawn of God's new possibilities in your life, for more joy, peace, and compassion. This week, breathe God's possibilities into being with your heart and soul, to be the blessing you have come to be for yourself, for those around you, and the world. You're up to it. God is counting on you, and now's the time. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen. Well, this is for Little Richard and Tina Turner and the guys in the tire store. Talking about rock and roll. I left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. But I never lost a minute of sleep, worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheels keep on turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I say rolling, rolling, rolling on the river, yeah. Well, I cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis, pumped a lot of paint down in New Orleans, but I never saw the good side of the city till I hitched the ride on a riverboat Queen. Big wheels keep on turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I say rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Check out the guys in the front row. Keep going. Big wheels keep on turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Well, if you go down to the river, bet you're gonna find some people who live. You don't gotta worry if you got no money. People on the river are happy to give. Big wheels keep on turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Help me out here. I say rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I say rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
Now we come to the time we support ourselves, and we support ourselves because this center is doing really good and amazing work in the world. And you can support us in several ways. You can do through volunteership. We're very grateful. We always have volunteer opportunities. You also can support us in consciousness. You can do prayer work for us to see us back full again, although we're getting pretty close, I'll have to tell you. And you can, of course, support us in coin. Whatever way, we're very grateful for us. If you will take your intentions and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. The ushers step down. Well, thank you in advance for your generous contributions. And Catherine, I know you got a great song for us.
Stick with the baby, I'll turn your money green. Stick with the baby, I'll turn your money green. I'll show you more money than Rockefellers ever seen. Well, the river was whiskey, maybe I was a duck. If the river was whiskey, whiskey made, I was a duck. I dived to the bottom and I never would come up. Stick with me, baby, I'll turn your money green. Yeah, stick with me, baby, I'll turn your money green. I'll show you more money than Rockefeller's ever seen. Well, when I was in Missouri, they would not let me be. I was in Missouri, they would not let me be. I couldn't be content until I moved to Tennessee, don't ask me why. Yeah, stick with me, baby, I'll turn your money green. Yeah, stick with me, baby, I'll turn your money green. I'll show you more money than Rockefeller's ever seen.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you for your support. Your support and generosity is allowing this center to grow and to thrive, to be a beacon of hope and love and inspiration for the whole world. So you're doing good by supporting this center, and we're making a difference in the world. This is our truth. We celebrate it, we rejoice in it, and together in consciousness we say, and so it is. All right, let's wrap up our service with an affirmative prayer and our treatment. And I'm going to do this in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There's but one God and one mind and one power, and that power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. And that power is showing up in my life all over. It's up to me to lift my eyes and to recognize it. It showed up in the dear little soul of Amelia here this morning. It showed up with her spitting on her daddy's arm. It shows up in the going to the tire store. It's up to me to know that God is good, life is good, and that I am a channel for God's blessing. I am a channel for God's love and kindness and compassion. It's what I recognize in my life. It grows and thrives. So here and now in this sacred place full of all these wonderful, loving, kind, compassionate people, I now choose to know something better for myself. I choose to see myself as God sees me, not as weak, not as wounded, but bold and dynamic, courageous and compassionate, moving out in the world, bringing about a better, bright new day of God's possibilities raining down on us, a new heaven and a new earth, a new Jerusalem made possible through my love and joy. So here today, I am choosing to lay my burdens down by the riverside. I've played with lack and limitation long enough. This morning, I am lifting my eyes to a better knowing for myself. This morning, I am leaving this place emboldened, encouraged, inspired. I am here to make a difference, and I am that difference. God and I are on a mission to make the world a kinder and loving and more joyful place. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my dear friends, I'm going to leave you with one last idea, and that is your life. Your life. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to name your miracle, to proclaim your miracle, and to make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. This is Reverend Ken. Until we see each other again, wishing you many blessings.
Well, it's only a paper moon. I hang it over a cardboard sheet. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Though it's only a canvas sky, I hang it over a muslin tree. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played on a penny arcade. It's a part of a million world, just as phony as it can be. If you believed in me,